Hey everybody, it's Vegan Coach Naomi, and today I'm doing something a little different with the weekly Wednesday Live, and I'm appearing on my public Going Vegan for Health page instead of how I usually do these fun live streams, which I do in my Going Vegan for Health group, which is a closed group filled with thousands of people who are going vegan for their health. So, Sharon, nice to see you. You found it. Yes. So, Yolanda, nice to see you. I'm not familiar with you on one of our lives. Welcome to the weekly Wednesday Live. So, tonight, Luana, hi. So tonight, what I wanted to talk about was doctors that don't tell you about plant-based diets. If your doctor does not tell you about a plant-based diet, I think your doctor sucks. And I'm just going to put that right out there and tell you the truth. And what we're going to talk about tonight is all of the reasons why doctors don't tell you about the health benefits of plant-based diets. It's often not their fault. There's many reasons why that we're going to go into. Hi, Camilla. Nice to see you again tonight. So we're going to talk about all those reasons, and we're going to talk about like what happens when doctors don't tell their patients about the health benefits of a plant-based diet. And we're also going to talk about what to do about it. What can you do about this? So originally I was going to talk about sleep and getting better sleep and plant-based diets, because that is a giant concern with clients and people that I just hear over and over and over. But then today I received a text from a new client who said that her doctor told her to go home and watch Forks Over Knives and get the cookbook and start a whole food plant-based diet immediately to reverse her pre-diabetes, and that she could do it. And she came, and she was a member of my group, and she came and she told me her doctor said that. And I can't tell you how wonderful it feels to hear doctors telling their patients this information. Camilla says her doctor thought it was extreme. So yeah, if you have experience talking to your doctor about a whole food plant-based diet, tell me what it was. Camilla, why did he think it was extreme for you to change your diet when high blood pressure, being overweight, high cholesterol, high glucose, all those things are caused by a poor diet and the lifestyle that people have? Luana says, I love her doctor. Yes, I love this client's doctor who told her to go do that. But usually, Luana says her doctor is very supportive. Yes, Luana, you went and you showed your doctor your results though, right? And you told her what you were doing. That's the key if your doctor doesn't know. So because the reason why this client today, why that thrilled me, is because usually what people will say, even in our closed group, people will say, well, my doctor never said that. Or a new client will say, my doctor told me I need to eat a lot of protein to help my glucose levels not spike, or some other stupid thing. So, very often that's what I'm hearing, and I'm not, and they're being, these people, patients, are being put on all kinds of blood pressure medications, cholesterol medications, diabetes medications, and these medications are progressive. They just add to the medications. They increase the dosages. They add another medication. And so we're going to talk about, why that happens. So let's get into it right now. So again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the fact that if your doctor hasn't told you about plant-based diets, then your doctor sucks. And what to do about it, which is find another doctor. And I'm going to give you a few tips on that. So that's what we're talking about. And if you have any experience talking to your doctor about your whole food plant-based diets, and also about, and yourself, if you've experienced the amazing health turnaround that you can have through through adopting a whole food plant-based diet, then tell me that in the comments too, because I've also experienced that. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story with my doctor, because if you don't know, I am a breast cancer survivor. So I have a whole big story about how I discovered plant-based diets and the kind of conversations that I've had with my doctors. So Kimberly Green is watching. Yay! So Kim, we're talking about if your doctor hasn't told you about a plant-based diet, then your doctor sucks. That's what we're talking about. So so let's get right into it. Why don't doctors tell you this information? Frances is watching and she is back from her month-long trip. Tell everybody, Frances, how much weight you lost on your 1-month trip just by following your usual delicious whole food plant-based diet. Camilla says, I refused to go on meds and brought my blood pressure down by going vegetarian to vegan and eliminating all animal products. David, yay, David's on. So why don't doctors tell you? Okay, so the number one reason that they don't tell you is because they simply don't know. They just don't know. They haven't been taught this information. And so it's not entirely their fault. So, for example, in the documentary Eating You Alive, many doctors, that one features more than 30 or 40 plant-based physicians and clinicians, and several of them explain just how little nutrition information, education, if any, they received at all. And they really say that they just didn't get any to know anything about nutrition, and that, you know, patients think their doctors have this information about nutrition, but they don't. They have none. So they don't even know that nutrition is important, and so they don't search out the data. And not all doctors are reading up on the journals, you know, especially GPs. They think that you know, it's all cut and dried and they know what they need to know and that there's nothing new. And in fact, all of this medical evidence for whole food plant-based diets, it's not new. It's 50 years old. We've had it forever. It just gets buried by the industries that want to see people stay sick and stay on medications, and that's the pharmaceutical industries and big food. So some doctors, they just don't know. Other doctors aren't reading up on it. They haven't been taught. Because here's the thing, once doctors do become aware of it, like let's say they watch Forks Over Knives, the documentary presented by Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, the cardiac surgeon, and Dr. T. Colin Campbell, the nutrition biochemist for the past 30 years. Once doctors become aware of the information, they usually give it a try themselves, and they usually practice it, and then they start practicing it with their patients, and they see the health turnarounds, and it just goes like that. So once the doctors know and they see, then they usually will tell you about it. But that's very few and far between. And actually worse even still is a doctor who doesn't know or does know and refuses to try it and remains closed off to reading this evidence. So that's really sad. And so my story with my oncologist is about a doctor like that. And I really did respect my oncologist for Tamika. Hi, Tamika. Nice to meet you on here. I've never seen you before. You might want to join our Going Vegan for Health group. It's a free Facebook group that you can join right from this page. So my story with my oncologist is might be typical. I'm going to tell it and you guys tell me. So back in 2014, I found a lump in my breast and I went to the doctor and she said I had to have a biopsy. And then she called, and I wasn't too worried about it because I thought, you know, women get fibroid cysts all the time. I had one when I was 21. It's just a lumpy thing. It's no big deal. And then she called me up and she said, you have invasive ductal carcinoma. And I said, what? And she said, you have invasive ductal carcinoma. And I said, I don't know what you're saying. Like, I don't know what those words even are. And she sort of yelled at me, you have breast cancer. You need to come in. And so I still didn't believe her because I thought that I was living a healthy life. I ate cheese. I ate organic chickens because I thought that those were better. I jogged with my dogs. I thought I was living a healthy life, and I guess I wasn't. So I removed my breasts. I did the chemotherapy and the radiation that they told me to do. And then at the very end of that, they ring this stupid bell in the chemo room and they say, oh, you're done. But then you go to see the oncologist and she says, yeah, you're done for now and keep coming back every 3 months. We're going to test your blood and we'll tell you when the cancer comes back. And I said, what do you mean the cancer comes back? Come on, I just did all that. How could the cancer come back? And she says, yeah, cancer that's invasive, that's in your lymph nodes, the way yours was, can come back. And so I just couldn't believe that. And so because I, thought I ate healthy before, and because I knew about kale and acai berries, I thought it might have something to do with the food. So at my next visit to the oncologist, the 3 months later, I decided to ask her, what should I eat to keep cancer away? Or what should I not eat that causes cancer? And she looked me dead in the eye and she said, it doesn't matter what you eat. And there's nothing you can do about cancer recurrence except take this pill. And for any of you who know anybody that has breast cancer, that pill is tamoxifen or another aromatase inhibitor for somebody who is already through menopause. So I didn't like that answer at all. And I said, come on, tell me what to eat. I know that there are foods and things that cause cancer. Tell me what to eat. And she looked at me again and she said, it doesn't matter what you eat. And then I thought about it and I realized that they serve cupcakes and cheese crackers in the chemo room. So she really believes that it doesn't matter what you eat. And she is a cancer doctor, an oncologist, where there are things happening all the time with treatments, and you would think that she'd be up on the journals, and you would think that she would be familiar with this evidence from the China study that T. Colin Campbell presents in Forks Over Knives that shows cancer incidences among cultures all over Asia, and what the cultures eat that have the least incidences of cancer. You would think that she would have read this, but no, she hadn't. She had never heard of Forks Over Knives. She had never heard of the China study. And furthermore, she did not like the idea of me, wanting to give her 10 copies of this to hand out to patients that did ask her what to do. And so I said, well, why wouldn't you want to tell patients what else they can do? And she said, we wouldn't want to give patients the idea that this could cure their cancer. It's not an approved protocol. And I said, what are you talking about? Nobody's saying this cures cancer. What I'm saying is this is what else you can do to reduce your risk of recurrence. And she said again, we don't want to give patients the idea that this is a cure for cancer so that they don't opt for chemotherapy and approved radiation and surgeries. And she refused to take the book and hand it out, which is the most ridiculous thing that I can even imagine. So that's an example of a doctor who's closed off, who doesn't want to listen, who is not open to the idea that there are lifestyle factors causing these diseases. So, and in Forks Over Knives, after she told me there was nothing I could do about it, I went home and I was Google searching, food and nutrition, cancer and food, and I came across the documentary Forks Over Knives. And Dr. T. Colin Campbell, right in that documentary, he's describing his research on animal proteins, and he says, we found that eating animal protein turns on cancer cells and not eating animal protein turns off cancer cells. And then he went on to describe how they could turn on and turn off, turn on and turn off cancer cells every 21 days, depending on the percentage of animal protein in the diet. So and they replicated the studies. They did it with various animal proteins, different labs, different researchers, and on and on. So to me, that means don't eat animal protein. And then the documentary goes on to describe how animal products are, the fat and cholesterol in animal products are actually responsible for the epidemics of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease that we have going on in this country right now. And that's you if you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high glucose, prediabetes, artery blockages, and any other risk factors and symptoms of those conditions. That's you. So, Gina, nice to see you. So that's my story with it. And so I think that my oncologist sucks because all she does is the approved protocol, which is the same for everybody. And, the one thing I do have to say is that it's quite possible that she saved my life with those treatments. But I don't appreciate the feeling that there's nothing I can do when there actually is something I can do. So, because I really felt scared and scarred when I was done with that cancer treatment. I was depressed and sad, and I just didn't know what the fuck to do. So here's why doctors like that suck. And that's your doctor if they belittle your whole food plant-based diet, or they say, yeah, that doesn't work, or that doesn't matter, or I don't have time to watch that, or I don't have time to read that research. If they say any of those things, that's how you know your doctor sucks. And that's because they don't empower you to take responsibility for your own health. They keep you taking pills and being the victim instead of taking control. Like, how does it feel to take control of your health and reduce the need for medications and watch your blood pressure come down and watch the weight fall off? It feels amazing. I can tell you I lost 40 pounds effortlessly since the end of cancer treatment. And you know what? I didn't even realize I was that overweight. So, there's a lot of power there that doctors withhold when they don't tell their patients about a whole food plant-based diet. So here's what else is that they suck because they're not giving you the full information on your condition. So here's an example of that. In that documentary called Eating You Alive, Penn Jillette is describing how he went to the doctor and he was told that he has very high blood pressure and that he needed to take this blood pressure medication and that he would need to take it forever. But his doctor left out the part that these medications are not a cure and that his blood pressure condition would continuously progress to get worse if he didn't change the conditions that caused the high blood pressure in the first place. And which is the high-fat junk food standard American meaty diet, meat and cheese diet. So his doctor just left that part out and didn't even give him the opportunity to say, you know what, I want to try that first. And he was pretty pissed off when he found out about it. And of course he took back his power and he adopted the whole food plant-based diet and he lost the weight and he doesn't need the blood pressure medications. So those kinds of doctors suck because they don't give you the full information on your condition. Some of them suck because they have an excuse, which is most of my patients would not even do it anyway. They don't want to change what they're eating. They're not going to stop, so why bother? And this may be true. Maybe the large majority of people don't want to change their eating habits. I know some physicians may be on this call. Maybe they could speak to that. as to whether, most people, when told the information, will they change their eating habits? In my opinion, if one person changes their eating habits, then that's what you're a doctor for. So that's the person like me begging my oncologist to tell me what to eat to avoid cancer. Luana says patients should still be informed about the whole food plant-based diet. Yeah, they should be informed and allowed to make the choice for themselves, right? They should be empowered. Because a doctor never knows when one of their patients is going to be desperate enough or sick enough to make the choice. And I think that doctors should facilitate that. Otherwise, I believe that they are in fact doing harm. When they don't tell you, when they don't give you the choice, when they withhold the information, then they're doing harm. That's my opinion on that. The other thing is that these doctors who withhold this information from you or don't believe you can do it or don't know about it and don't tell you, and you continue with these doctors and you don't know any better, you, the patient, are more likely to experience anxiety and depression about your health without this information, without the choice to be empowered to do something about it. And I hear this all the time when I do coaching calls. People will say, I'm just so frightened about what's going to happen, or my doctor wants to do surgery on my artery blockage and I just don't know what else to do, or my doctor wants to put me on insulin on top of the other 2 diabetes medications I take. I just don't know what to do. I'm so scared. This I hear over and over and over again. And so people are afraid and doctors are just not telling them. And I think that if any of those 4 situations is your situation, then your doctor sucks. And you have every right to find another one. Luann, nice to see you. You missed a hell of a chat we've been having. You need to go back to the very beginning and watch this from the beginning. Luann is somebody who, maybe she can tell you about what's happened to her mother, right? And this conversation might be appropriate to you. So, because the doctor told your mother about forks over knives, right? Right? That's what we're talking about. So here's what to do if that's your doctor. If your doctor sucks and is not telling you or refuses to work with you on your whole food plant-based diet. Because let me tell you what else. My clients and people that I've heard have definitely said, and some in my weight loss groups, their blood pressure goes down so quickly, like within a couple of weeks, and their glucose levels go down and their cholesterol goes down so quickly that they need to have their medications adjusted, and they need to be able to tell their doctor what they're doing, and their doctor needs to be able to get them in there quickly to test them and reevaluate their medications. And if you're not working with a doctor who's going to do that with you, then you need to find another doctor. Am I right, people? So here's what to do. The first thing that you can do in this situation is show them your results yourself. So let's say that you were in one of my 10-week weight loss group programs and you lost 10 or 15 pounds in the 10 weeks. You need to go to your doctor and show them what you've done and have your blood tested again for, blood pressure, cholesterol, and glucose to make sure that you don't need your meds adjusted, and to show your doctor what you're doing. Luana is somebody who had this happen. That's what she did. She's saying that's what I did. She went and she told her doctor what she was doing, and her doctor said, keep doing it, keep it up. So, that doctor might see another patient and say, oh, I know this patient is doing this. Why don't you try this? Maybe her doctor's going to watch a documentary or read one of the books about it. June gave me a thumbs up. Yes. So that's one thing. You can show them the results. You can show them your weight loss and let them see the blood work for themselves, because they have your blood work from before. And if there's no other explanation, then that's the explanation and they have to accept it. So I did a poll in the group to see like how many people's doctors did not ever tell them about a plant-based diet, or how many people's did, and how many people told their doctors. And it was almost even, the no's to how many people told their doctors. So we have a very empowered group of thousands of members interested in taking their power back and adopting a whole food plant-based diet to turn their health around, to lose weight, to get off of medications, and all of that. So, all right, so number 1 was show the results. Number 2, if your doctor is asking about your results, suggest that they watch Forks Over Knives, or even What the Health, or that they read any one of these books, How Not to Die. These are all written by physicians and doctors who have studied this research, who have treated their patients clinically this way. Look how fat this is. It's completely footnoted with every medical evidence for all of the conditions cited in here. This one, the China study, same thing. This one written by Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, the cardiologist. So if you're having a cardiology problem, that's blood pressure, cholesterol, blockages, any cardiovascular disease, this is the book you want to show your cardiologist, written by a cardiologist who has treated patients this way and reverses blockages every day, all day long. Dr. Joel Kahn, another cardiologist, same thing. Dr. Neil Barnard, diabetes. If you're going to an endocrinologist and you're dealing with pre-diabetes and diabetes, this is the book to bring your doctor. Cancer, the one I showed before, Radical Remission, and this one is Anti-Cancer, written by David Servin-Schreiber, MD. Let's see, what else do we have here? For GPs, The End of Dieting and Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. All of these books are examples of things that you can show any of your doctors to help them learn more about the whole food plant-based diet. And there's one more thing. This is a copy of, and I'm going to put a link for it in the notes to this. This is a copy of the Nutritional Update for Physicians that was published in the Permanente journal for Kaiser Permanente. And it's a nutritional update for physicians to prescribe plant-based diets before prescribing medications for those who show up with prediabetes or heart disease symptoms and risk factors. So what I like about this is it includes an analysis of more than 40 of the biggest peer-reviewed studies that there are on this topic. So they've gone through all the medical evidence and have included it all to make this nutritional update. And this is something written to show a doctor. This is a published piece, and it's ready to show a doctor. So I am going to link that for you so you can print it out and you can bring it to your next doctor visits. So that's what you want to do. Let's see, what else? So if your doctor is completely resistant, or if your doctor is fat themselves, looks unhealthy, is unkempt and just doesn't look healthy, then that's not a good doctor for you. So a doctor should walk the walk and talk the talk. So if you find that your doctor sucks, then I suggest finding a new doctor, and there is a great way to do that, which is called plantbaseddocs.com or plantbaseddoctors.org. I think that they are both the same website, and it's run by the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. So that's a place where you can search by zip code all across the country looking for a plant-based doctor, and there may or may not be one, but let me tell you, I attended the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine Nutrition and Medicine Conference this past August, and there were over 1,000 physicians and healthcare practitioners and me all there to learn and share information on the health benefits of the medical evidence for the health benefits of adopting a whole food, plant-based, no oil diet. So specialist after specialist got up to explain the medical evidence in their specialty. One was autoimmune and multiple sclerosis, another one was heart disease, another one was diabetes, 2 of them were cancer, and on and on and on for an entire weekend. So that is something that is showing that the amount of plant-based doctors is growing, and you should demand that. You should demand the information, and you should demand the power, and if you're not getting it, then you should go elsewhere. So that's my spiel on doctors that suck. And, you know, I just think it's so important to spread this message, to empower people to have the choice about your condition, to adopt a whole food plant-based diet and give it a try and see if you can turn your condition around yourself. Because once you do that, I'm going to tell you, it feels fantastic. It feels amazing. And so I'm in this Going Vegan for Health group every single day, spreading this message, talking to people, doing coaching calls, coaching people, helping them adopt the whole food plant-based diet and get the health turnarounds that they want right now. If you're somebody who wants to overcome these conditions, that's what this group is for. That's what I'm here for. So, so definitely hit me up and message me for a free coaching call, or if you want to learn more about my 10-week online whole food plant-based no oil weight loss program, or anything else about the group. And the reason I did it on the Facebook page today is because I want you to be able to share this video with other people. And usually I do them in the closed group, and then you can't share it. And people always ask me, what, you know, let me share these videos. No, you can't share them. They're exclusively for people who are committed to a whole food plant-based no oil diet, for turning around their health. And you know, and by committed, I mean they clicked a button to join a free Facebook group, which is all you have to do to have access to all the videos that we do and all the stuff that we do every day in that group. So, so that's it for today, and I can sum it up by Dr. Kim Williams, the cardiologist, who says there are 2 kinds of cardiologists: vegan and those who haven't read the data, period. That's it. So, does anybody have any questions on this topic? Does anybody have anything else to add about dealing with their doctor? And because we had some good testimonials of people who've had the health benefits while I was talking, and you know, I feel bad saying that some doctors suck, but they just do. So you want to get away from that. And I want to be here to support you in doing that. And I want you to give a whole food plant-based diet a try, because 9 times out of 10, people who give it a try get the results really quickly. And that's something worth working towards. It's something worth committing to. It's something worth being the change in the world that we might want to be. So, so I'll continue to answer questions in the comments after I get off, and I want to wish you guys a really happy Wednesday, and I want to tell you that I'm always here for you guys. Just click the button to join our group if you're not in our group, and share this video far and wide with somebody that you think needs to hear this message, okay? All right, everybody. Happy Weekly Wednesday Live. I'm Vegan Coach Naomi, and I will see you in the group.